What's going on, guys? It's Scott Boys. This video here is me doing my in-depth analysis of what I think, or in-depth prediction of what I think is going to happen in the tournament coming up, starting next week. It's today, next week. It's this Sunday. I'm recording on very late on Sunday. It's almost Monday morning. It's like 20 to midnight on Sunday, and I'm just going to do this little quick prediction. It's going to be more in-depth than what I did in the podcast, obviously, because we just skimmed through it, me, Eddie and Chris. I want to give my reasoning behind it. Those two can do their own videos, give them their own predictions, if they fucking want to. But I want to do mine. I want to give my predictions, I want to get that out there. First game of the tournament is Brandon versus me. Last versus first. Brandon's last, I'm first. Battle of the Brothers. I personally think I'm going to come out on top 3-0. I think that I'm just going to play what I usually play, the Warrior meta maybe. Warrior meta moves like to come out from me, and Brandon I just don't think we'll be able to deal with my Warrior meta because he couldn't deal with Eddie's. So what I hope that you're dealing with mine. So I still think I'm going to 3-0 him. There is going to be Eddie versus Jojo. Now, in the thing we have to do with Jojo going through, because Eddie and Chris both thought that, but I don't think that. I think Eddie is going to 3-2 Jojo in the closest set in the first round. I personally think Eddie and Jojo are very tight in skill level. I just think Eddie's Warrior meta is better than Jojo's meta. I think Jojo's a better player, just Eddie has a better meta than Jojo does. I think Jojo takes game 1, Eddie takes game 2. Eddie takes game 3, Jojo takes game 4, Eddie takes game 5. That's what I think will happen. Or it will be 1-1, they just take 1-1, and when it gets to game 8, Jojo takes game 1, Eddie takes game 2, Jojo takes game 3, Eddie takes game 4, Eddie takes game 5 as well. And that's what I think will happen. Michael versus Chris. I think it's going to be 3-1 Michael. I think Michael's going to take the first 2 games to dethrone Chris's record of 14 on the bounce and making a record of 15 on the bounce. And then I think Chris will take a game back, and then Michael will stomp in the 4th game and 3-1 him going straight through. I don't see it happening anyway. Wait, we could say 3-0, but I'm favouring the 3-1. Jay versus Aaron. No, Jay versus Aaron is always going to be a very complicated one. I think I said 3-0 in these podcasts. I've changed that to a 3-1. I think Jay's going to get 3-1 against Aaron. I think Aaron takes game 1 and then Jay just reverse sweeps it like he did to Chris in the Resistance Gaming Classic final. It's just a perfect reverse sweep for him there. Well, it's really dark. Usually like pretty good in my little area. I think it's going to be a reverse sweep, and I think Jay takes it 3 games to 1. Now who else? We move on now. So we'll go to the semi-finals. So I think it's me versus Eddie. I think I 3-1 Eddie in that scenario. I think I take game 1, Eddie takes game 2, I take game 3 and 4. Easy like that. Bang. I think I'm just a bit better than Warrior Meta, I think, but I think Eddie with a picks and bangs in game 2 will just get a bit better of me. Game Jay versus Michael. We ended with Michael because Eddie and Chris both think Michael would beat Jay. I think Jay 3-2s Michael. I think Michael takes game 1 and 2 and Jay reverse sweeps it. Jay's just fucking amazing at reverse sweeping. Michael takes game 1. Jay takes game 1, Michael takes game 2 and 3, Jay takes game 3 and 4 and 5, sorry. And 3-2. That's what I think. Michael versus Eddie in a best of 3 for 3rd, 4th. I think Michael 2-0s Eddie. Personally, I just think that's what's going to happen. Fact. I just think Michael's just better than Eddie. Just fact. Game in the finals. I think Jay 3-1s me in the final. I think I'm going to take Jay takes game 1 and 2. I take game 3 and he takes game 4. So I think it's going to happen. So that's my tournament predictions. I'm also going to do the predictions for after the parts of the tournament. So we're going to go for the relegations part now. Jay, so its first game is Brandon versus Chris in a best of 3. I think Chris 2-1s personally. I think Chris takes game 1, Brandon takes game 2, and then Chris takes game 3. I just think that Chris is much more prepared for it than Brandon will be, and a lot more practiced. Eddie versus Aaron, I think Aaron 2-1s that. I think, oh no, sorry, why am I saying Eddie versus Aaron? Sorry, Jojo versus Aaron. Why am I thinking Eddie versus Aaron? God damn it. Jojo versus Aaron, I think. We always see these two split. I see Jojo coming out on top and 2-1ing that. I see Jojo, Jojo's going to get a 2-1 win over that and secure his spot in next season. Jojo versus Chris for a 5th-6th match. For the 5th-6th place. I think Jojo 1-0s Chris and takes 5th, and Chris gets 6th. Now, we move on. Further. Keep on keeping on. Aaron versus Brandon for seeding in a best of 3. I think Aaron 2-0s Brandon. Just 2-0, quick 2-0. And then means Brandon will fight Dean and Aaron will fight Luke. I think in a best of 5, Aaron will 3-0 Luke, and I think Dean will 3-0 Brandon. I think so. Dean and I think Dean and Aaron will go into next season. Dean is 7th. Aaron is 8th. No, sorry. Aaron is 7th. Dean is 8th. Seed. I think. Then after that, I think obviously because Michael's pulling out, Brandon will face Luke, or I'm not sure what's going to happen. I think Brandon's going to fight Luke in a best of 3. I think Luke 2-1 that. I personally see Luke 2-1ing that, putting Brandon onto the 2nd division. Luke will take Michael's spot and come up into the top division for next season. Ladies and gentlemen, they are my predictions for next season. Hope you guys are enjoying them, and I will probably be doing a podcast with Chris and Eddie again about season just before it starts, probably on like the 8th of February or something. We're going to be doing a podcast. So, there on guys. Bye.